Yeah.
What?
Oh no. LiftedTrucks.com has the juice.
Now he's setting him up. He went here, he's going here, now he's going side kick. Boom, to eventually do the flutter kick to eventually catch Andre Fili. But look, he's messing with his leg. He's watching his hands drop. Covers distance, he loads up. Bah! Makes him think like a jumping knee is coming, where eventually that left leg got through. And he was very right leg heavy. And that's what makes him. It almost looked like he was about to take a shot. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Fight Feedback. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C. And on today's episode of Fight Feedback, we're gonna be going over the one and only, the one of a kind, Yair Rodriguez. As this fight gets closer with Alexander Volkanovski, what are the strengths, the weaknesses, and the improvements that Yair could make and potentially this matchup? He's fought Max Holloway, he's fought the Korean Zombie. He has the latest knockout in UFC history with the Zombie. He's had some of the most epic comebacks in UFC history. But this episode wouldn't be possible without our sponsor. That's right, Lifted Trucks. Whenever you guys want a nice custom trucks, you guys make sure to go to liftedtrucks.com and get your lift on. Guys, enough talk. Let's take it to the big screen. So at this time, Yair Rodriguez was 23 years old versus a young Andre Fili at 25 as well. Similar in height, weight, and it's impressive. The reach advantage that Andre Touchy Fili had. Let's hit the play button. I feel like in this fight, really, people started really seeing Yair. That was the first kick, you know, the end of round one, but he's already invested in that kick, you know. And I felt like Andre Fili was a little too lateral. But he's throwing those roundhouses, but going back to that lead leg. Which, when I think of that fight with Volkanovski, this is where I feel like Yair could really hammer in on him, because he does have the length advantage when it comes to the actual legs. Boom. Yep. Roundhouse going to the body. Now he's setting him up. He went here. He's going here. Now he's going side kick. Boom, to eventually do the flutter kick to eventually catch Andre Fili. But look, he's messing with his leg. He's watching his hands drop. Covers distance. He loads up. Bah! Makes him think like a jumping knee is coming, where eventually that left leg got through. But prior to that, he was going side kick. He was going roundhouse. He was beating him. He was chewing up that front leg to eventually, I call it the flutter kick, to eventually catch him with that knockout. And again, I feel like they have like the old school logo here, you know. Anyways, Korean Zombie at that time, 31, 26. This was one of the greatest, if not the greatest comeback in UFC history. Yep, beautiful kick. Look, beginning of round one, like that's gonna be the leg kick that he really, I hope he emphasized on whole fight camp. Bah. Yep. Right there. And you notice he hit Zombie, and then what does he do? He covers distance. Yep, stay away. Yep, and notice Zombie before he got that kick to the body. Notice what he did with his leg. Pulls it back. Boom. And then now he sees it. Bah! And then the second time, if you watch his hips, you're going to see the second time he moves it back a little bit, he tweaks it again, and then he comes up with that up kick. One last time. Boom. Moves it. Messes it. And if you guys caught that little movement, boom, to eventually land that front kick up the middle. Already, he's already. If you watch this whole fight, he did like I don't know how many attempts with that elbow that he actually tried. Boom. He was going right, left, to both sides. This is why it's hard to fight a guy like Yair, because he will literally use every limb of his body, and his right is exactly how It's exactly how his left, like he's not necessarily dominant to one side. Or he'll use both, even if he is dominant to one side. And this is where you don't want to be. This is where you don't want to be with Volkanovski. You don't want this is not your range, Yair. This range right here is going to get you in trouble with a guy like Volkanovski, because the Volkanovski knows how to angle off with his head. You know, and look, notice he's in that fight range with a Korean Zombie, and that's the stuff that got him in trouble. You know, Zombie's got good hands. If you stay in the pocket with a guy like Zombie, I'd give Zombie a chance with anybody in the world. If you fight him just to fight him. Yep. You know, in that range. Goes back to his kicks. Goes back to what he was doing with touchy Fili. You know, this is more of his style. Side kicks, roundhouses. You know what I'm saying? Coming from different directions, mastering distance. Look, you notice that he's already searching for that dip. If you watch him, he's moving along, he's dipping. Now he's kind of playing like Matador a little bit. But you see that elbow's trying to come up, and then he's thinking about this elbow trying to throw it, but he never really threw it until, as you watch the time, the last 10 seconds is boom right there. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, boom. Right there with about 4 seconds left. He eventually, you know, unfortunately, Zombie's a good friend of mine, but he eventually catches him. And that's the difference between Yair Rodriguez and everybody else is he really is one of one. He's super creative in his own ways. He doesn't have to copy anybody. He has his own style, which makes Yair Rodriguez extremely unique. And then we fast forward. I mean, this was I think maybe this fight took place about 1.5 years to maybe 2 years, if I recall. Let's hit the play button. But right away, like, yep, right there. That's where the fight is for you. Yep, nice kick to the head. But it's almost like, yep. But you notice that? You notice how his pride got, you notice how he was like, when people tend to call you out because they felt something. But right here, this is where Yair doesn't want to be. This is where he has to be careful in this fight range. Because you're going to see when he gets hit, ba. Look, he's pissed, dude. Like, he gets that Mexican gladiator that kind of tends to want to come out. You cannot be there with Volk. Attempting takedowns. Yeah, kind of going to his back when he misses things, but he's still kind of scrambly on bottom. He's super comfortable on his back that I don't think he minds. Like, again, like, he'll miss things and he'll just go to his back. Because part of it, what Yair does, and people tend to do that, it's like Aljamain, they tend to like to recover, but when you get somebody that's going to be active on top, like Holloway was for this fight, you know, he'll easily go down, which could make him look bad. Yeah, you don't want to be here, Yair. You don't want to be here with Volk, because Volk is going to get his head off to the outside to eventually try to land you to counter you. You know? Yeah, nice uppercut though, regardless. Boom, left hook, uppercut. But right here, and I do believe, want to rewind that real quick. I do believe, like, this is more likely where Alexander Volkanovski is going to take the fight. Pretty sloppy shot from Holloway. And go back real quick. But it was his attempt. He was a little far, but once you just get somebody to continue to keep striking, right now Holloway's like, all right, man, now, you know, I'm using hands, I'm using these missiles. Now I'm gonna change level. It kind of busts out or whatever, but he was still able to get it because he ran his feet. And I do believe this is more likely where Alexander Volkanovski is more, you know, catching him in fight zone where he's in arm's reach, and then he eventually was going to start kicking. Holloway found it to eventually take him down. Yup. Going for that knee. I mean, knees like this against a shorter opponent because you're bigger could work. You know, you missed him, but if it was Volkanovski's, maybe Volkanovski's probably at his nose, you know, to Max Holloway's nose. Elbows, but don't be here, Yair. You cannot be in this line with these guys. Unnecessary. Look at the time that it is. And the fifth round could I gotta rewatch this fight. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like doing unnecessary things. When I was talking about Yair, sometimes he'll expand energy. Like judges are gonna look at the guys who's actually controlling the position. You just put yourself on your back with 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go. This is where I hope Yair Rodriguez could really become more of a competitor than just a fighter. You know, in a good control for Holloway. I mean, Holloway won this fight because of his wrestling. And this is where I feel like more likely Volkanovski can try to expose a guy like Yair Rodriguez. Once he starts getting kicked, and once he starts to feel that power of those kicks, I think Volkanovski is going to really try to close distance, get him close up against the cage to eventually look for a takedown. You know, in his last fight, you know, this is he's similar. He's about 0.5 taller than Alexander Volkanovski. Josh Emmett is a pretty short fighter, you know, but Yair showed a lot. Like, godly, he's still young, dude, 30 years old. Like, I felt my strongest at, woof. God, at 36 right now, I feel my strongest. I just gotta, you know, fight a little bit more to kind of get those cobwebs to feel better. But man, he still hasn't hit his prime. Just hit the play button. Yep. Controlling range. Now this is his last fight. Look how much different of a fighter that he looks now. You know, look, controlling distance. Yep. Kind of laterally. Yep. Hurt him to the body already, if you notice that. But look at his distance. Yeah, and then he moves. This is how you have to play the Volkanovski fight. Catches him to the body, throws his punches. Bah! Notice that right there. When you cut a lot of weight and you get hit there, I don't care how tough you are, you will go down. And you can tell that Josh Emmett felt it. Boom. Yep. Yeah, but notice he's rushing him. Like, Yair could have done a better job of kind of catching his angle a little bit better rather than kind of just, because he did get hurt here. This is why, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, he tried to keep his composure because he does hit hard, but you do not want to be in these areas, man, with Volk. You know, this guy's got more power, luckily, than Volk, but still, you can tell his demeanor changed. But he went back to what he knows best, kicking. He hurt him, dude. Like, this dude's trying to wrestle. He's trying to do whatever he can. And this is only round 2. This is the beginning of round 2. Josh Emmett's hurt because Yair's been dealing with his hands, elbows, kicks. Yeah. In this position, Yair, I would just get out, even though you could hurt him because Volkanovski's going to be looking for takedowns. Notice that. Notice you think this thing is going here, and then boom, he'll flip it up top. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? He's tricky because you don't know what's coming. There goes that knee again. But then again, I'm not sure if he caught it. Yeah, he did catch it. But then he ended up giving up that single leg. But Yair, at this point, this is where he's dangerous, man. Look, notice he's active on top. If you are on his guard, he's gonna throw elbows. He's okay. He's been in these positions where he's gonna fight you and make it horrible for you. This is an underrated art that I think people tend to forget. You know, you fight off of bottom. If you're not gonna get up, fight off of bottom. And then notice, right now, pause it. Look, he's kind of controlling his hand, but right now, Josh Emmett's really not in an urgency to get the hell out. Or he's really not taking this stuff right here serious. I mean, look at how close your head is. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as he circles up, go ahead, hit play. Look, he could have got out. He could have just pulled his arm out. Go ahead. Look, he could have been out right there, and then he squared up. And then once he squared up, that's where the submission eventually came. Instead of him pulling out, Josh Emmett stayed in the line of fire. And with the strikes that he was already doing with him, he was able to get the submission with Josh Emmett. Boom, striking. Hurts him. Takes his time because now he knows he's locked. Now he's in his web. Now he's going to go and look for that submission. Yeah, he's locked, man. This was an impressive. This was Yair's most impressive fight up to date, to become the interim champ of the world, and now he's looking to become the undisputed champ of the entire world, going up against the pound for pound best fighter in the world, Alexander Volkanovski.